get this. Okay. And hopefully it looks like we are. Share my, hang on 1 second here. Where's my PowerPoint go? Okay, and can you guys see my slide deck here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and we are being recorded, it looks like. So normally I would have asked you to raise your hands if you wanted to ask a question, but I think we're a small enough group and everybody is certainly polite enough that just speak up if you want to jump in. And because I don't have a co-host tonight, so I don't have anybody checking to see if people are raising their hands. Just want to start with like just kind of some ground, not really rules, but just kind of an overview of expectations and intentions for tonight. So this is really a discussion. So that's what it's meant to be, is for us to share and to talk about the topic here of Christ consciousness. And just understand that nobody is an expert. I certainly don't claim to be. And I started this because I was looking for people who were and who could tell me more. And I just kind of, as I posted things on Facebook, I've learned so much. And I just know that so many of you have so much to share and give to the group as well. So all ideas are welcome. I also really want to make sure that we understand this isn't about religion, that it's about frequency and vibration. And so, if somebody says something that you don't agree with, please just be courteous. And I'm sure all of you would be unrespectful of people's beliefs. And yeah, so I want to just start out with a definition of Christ consciousness. And really kind of going back to the Greek word Christ and what that means. It actually comes from the word Christos. And Christos is a verb and it means to anoint. It also is connected with the word chrism, which is holy oil. So it's in remembrance of the sacred life force that's inside all of us and all of creation, is kind of what the purpose of the holy oil was. So if you were raised Catholic or anything along that lines, they use holy oil in a lot of the sacraments. And it's always in remembrance of who we are. So as an example, Jesus was actually his name, and he was Jesus the Christ. So Christ was his title. And then if we just take that a little bit further and we go into like, what does this mean for us as we're having this conversation? Christ consciousness is a state of awareness. It's a state of being. It's a state of being aware of our true nature and really the nature of all of creation as spiritual beings, as coming from the sacred life force. So it's being aware of the sacred life force that animates us. I am a pranic healer, and so in pranic healing, we use the word prana, which in Hebrew is ruah, or it's chi in some of the Eastern cultures. And it's basically that breath of life that gives us life. And then David Hawking said that Christ consciousness is the ability to experience and understand yourself and your environment. So really, for today, what we're mostly going to be talking about here is in terms of frequency and vibration. Does anybody have anything they want to add at this point? If you do, I can't see everybody, so you may just have to, let me see if I can get you all on my screen. You may just kind of have to speak up a little bit. Okay, well, let's go on then. So I wanted to share this slide here. Hang on a second. Trying to see all of you guys as well. So I got this from also from David Hawkins. This is the scale of consciousness. And I really liked this. And I found this, or somebody I think posted it after I made the post out there on the AO Scan Facebook page. And I just loved it so much. And I thought it was a great way to show what we're actually talking about here today and how, I mean, and it really just ties right into what we're doing with Solex. So if you start at the very bottom and we see these very low vibrational emotions over here. So shame, guilt, grief, fear, and we kind of even move up a little bit more to anger, which surprises me. I thought maybe anger would be down lower. Um, and then you've got pride. And as we move up out of this victim and abuser consciousness where we are victims of what's going on around us, then we start moving into self-empowerment and the fourth dimension. So then we go into courage and neutrality and willingness and acceptance. And then as you can see, we just kind of keep going up this scale. And so there's a self-identification over here too that's really interesting. And I haven't read his whole book, Power versus Force. It took me a minute to get past the introduction. So now I'm kind of past that and I'm just digging into it. But we get into paradise where we're experiencing inner love, inner light, oneness or unity, and then just continuing moving on up. So as we are doing anything really with Solex, and this is more about emotions than the physical healing. But what I'm really, really beginning to understand is that the frequencies, anytime we are balancing those frequencies, we're actually bringing the frequency back into alignment with the divine blueprint. And so there is just alone by using the scanner to work on people, we are raising the vibration of the planet without really any, just that piece is already doing it. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. Would anybody else like to chip in here?
Yeah, I would. This is Susan.
Yeah, hi, Susan.
I really, I thought that was interesting what you just said, because with that multicast now, I've been able to, put together a playlist for family and friends
Yeah,
and have been running that. I don't necessarily send it off to everybody,
right.
uh, because a lot of times people just are way too overwhelmed with the information that they find there. Um, and without an explanation or whatever, I can see people kind of freaking out. So I just do it. Been doing it the last 2 days, and I'm just hoping and praying that there will be a shift for people as I do that on a daily basis.
Right. I'm doing the exact same thing, Susan, and I don't send it either. It's too much information for
Yeah.
most people. But yes, I think that's huge. And I actually just met with Connie today, who's on our team as well. She's one of our team leaders with Wendy. And she said, that optimization is so important because it's just bringing the body back to the divine blueprint. Like every time we scan and optimize, we're bringing that back. And so it's fantastic.
How many times a day are you doing that? Just once or
It just depends on how much time I have. Like, or
yeah,
if I'm doing something else with the scanner, then it's not happening right. So
right.
I do it at least once a day, and then I'll do a multi cast as well, probably once a day. Like today, I did the multi scan, but I haven't done the multicast today. But these people don't know that I'm doing it for them, and they're not paying me, so I feel like every little bit I give them is good.
Right, right. Yes, that's exactly what's going on for me too.
Yeah,
And these are people that don't, were reluctant or didn't have the money to do it, or
yes,
you know, question anything that has to do with frequencies and chakras and
Right.
all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Same. Does anybody else want to share anything about multicast or talk about the levels of consciousness?
I'd like to. This is Wendy.
Yeah, hi Wendy.
Hi. So, one of the things, because of the way I got involved with Solix, was for pain relief.
Mhm.
And the first person that joined me, he was so interested in helping people with pain relief. And along the way, he started working on a lot of people, and we were focusing on, what works, what's not, doesn't seem to be working. And he hit upon, and I've been using, and it works great. If in your scanner, if so let's say you're doing your erases first, and then you want to go into your frequencies, you can go create like a playlist for anxiety and fear and run that, so it doesn't seem like, wait, I mean, aren't I supposed to go into neuropathy or pain or something like that? And it's like, if you run the anxiety and fears first, a lot of times you can get the pain levels down a lot quicker.
That's awesome, Wendy.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And that's it kind of goes back to this idea. And this is something I do functional, a functional kind of functional practitioner, if you will. Um, and what I really found in my practice is that people weren't getting better. They were doing all the functional work, but because they weren't addressing the emotions, they weren't seeing the results that they needed.
Yeah, and then we had AO Tunes come on board, and
Yeah.
under AO Tunes, you can go to Solfeggio, and then you can do Liberating Guilt, and that
Mhm.
seems to be a really important one, because as you look on the Dawkins scale, guilt, shame, fear, anxiety, all of those are so low. So it makes sense when you look at that funnel that that would be something we would want to address first, right? And
Right.
clear that up, get that cleared up, and then go on and start working on the frequencies that relate to their specific discomfort.
So, Wendy, we can't add that to a playlist though, right?
No, that's what I was going to ask is how are you actually sending that to the people? Like, because if they're not hearing it, because it's on your computer, and I thought the tones worked like you needed to hear them. So I'm just curious if there's another way that I don't know.
So I do a lot of work over the phone. I just have them listen.
So, but we
Oh,
can't
so
send
you've
it to
got them
somebody
live then.
remotely like we
Yeah.
could with the Cephi, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about broadcasting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
talking about like actually doing like a pain relief session with them.
Yep. Love it.
Because during the pain relief session, I mean, I always started out, I'm asking, well, what is your pain level now? And then I do the erases, and then, I start doing that emotional work. Well, I mean, I always have them listen to inner voice first.
Yeah.
So before we do anything, like I'm asking them, I've already interviewed them, so what's going on? What's the issue? And they're usually giving me a diagnosis, or they're giving me a symptom.
Right.
And then, and by the way, I work this out way ahead of time before we get on the phone together. I already have their profile done. I already have a plan in mind, what I'm
Mhm.
going to do to help them. And, but I always start out with, I might as well just, I got it memorized, Joe, if it's okay. Do you want me to share with people what I do?
Yeah, well, I would like to know.
Okay. It's a kind of the same thing every time. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just tell you what I do. Okay. So I start with a clearing, a shield, and a grounding at quick scan. So that'll just takes you like, 4 minutes.
And you do that for yourself, right?
Yeah, I like to,
Yeah.
as my DMO, I like to do a clearing, grounding, and shield every morning.
Yep.
And then I do inner voice for myself, and I do the same thing for them. And if they have a significant amount of pain that has been present for a long time, so what we would call chronic, I'll go 10 minutes with them on, see, I try to book an hour, but I talk too much and I do too much. So usually my sessions are an hour and a half. Um, I've just learned not to book more than I give myself 2 hours between sessions, because
Yeah.
you never know too. Sometimes people have so many questions and you want to talk about things, and then you make notes about what you're going to share with them later. So it just depends. But I've just learned not to push myself, because it is nice to have time to go get something to drink or nibble on or go to the restroom or something. So so my pain relief session looks like clearing grounding shield, and then an inner voice, 10 minutes if they have severe pain and it's gone on a long time, but I'll reduce it to 5 as a minimum. That's my standard, my 5 minutes with them. Definitely do the whole routine where you explain, I'm going to send this to you on email and I want you to open it up and you're going to be able to listen and all that. And then I'll go into the erases. And if you're on the phone with them and they have, like, say, left knee pain, ask if you can be their surrogate. Get the permission to be their surrogate. They always say yes, because they're there for healing. So and then I might go as far as to say, this works because we're really all connected. We're really all one, right? And most people agree with that.
I
And
also think that you can just have the intention that the erase is going to their knee,
yeah,
What
right?
do you mean by erase?
so when you're in Cephi, the top left button is kind of green or blue, depending
Yeah.
on what screen you've chosen. That's your erases.
Yeah.
So you're going to open that up and you're going to get your fireball, and I will put that like on my left knee and I'll run it like 3, 6, or 9 times.
And what
Oh,
that's doing is it's pulling out the negative, or there's lower frequencies, those frequencies that are out of balance in that area. Is that right, Wendy?
That's how I view it. I don't know exactly if that's how Lauren would say it, but I'm just like, to me, it gives a more stable playing field for me to then put in the curing or positive frequencies that I'm going for.
Right. That's what I'm gathering too. It's kind of like if you had a physical wound, you wouldn't just automatically go put like your Neosporin on it and stick a Band-Aid on it, especially if it's dirty. You're going to clean
Right.
it first.
Yeah.
So that's what in chronic healing, that's what we do as well. Before we energize any chakras or put in any new, higher vibrational energy, divine energy, we clean it. So that's how I look at the erases, is that we're cleaning that area up with the erases, and then we can add in the other frequencies, the healing frequency.
That's a great analogy. Like it a lot. I'm going to use that. So yeah,
I don't know. It just
Can
came to
I
me
ask-
now. I've never used it before.
we're going to
It's a
clean it
good.
up and then we're going to put the medicine on it.
So are you putting the transducers on the body part? Like, how are you actually doing the erasing exactly? Sorry, I'm newish and
No,
no,
I'm
it's
just
okay.
no,
So,
me too.
In Cephi.
yes, I understand the Cephi bit. I found where you've got the fire. So
Yeah.
then how are you putting it to the body part though, is what I missed.
Yeah, I know that sounds a little crazy, but we do play with that. And I don't know if it's a mental thing or if it's necessary, but like whatever will help the person to really feel like they're being helped. That's what's important, is people are getting the attention, they're getting the love, they're getting the care, they're getting the action steps. So I'll just say, can I be your surrogate? And it's your left knee that hurts. Okay, well, I'm putting it right there. Is it more in the front, to the right side of your left knee, to the left side of your left knee? Is it behind your knee? And I'll find out exactly where they're hurting. And then I'll tell them I'm just holding my tablet down there and I'm erasing.
Yeah. So what we're
Ah,
doing is when you hit
tablet.
erase here
That's
and
the
the
key
fire comes
piece. I
up.
missed the tablet. Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
And so like if my hand was hurting, I would just hold this up to my hand And then Wendy taught me to do this in sets of 3. So I usually do this 12 times, depending on how bad the pain is.
Mhm.
And sometimes I may sit there for 5 or 10 minutes just holding the fire up, hitting erase, hitting erase, hitting erase.
Okay, I have a question. My sister called me up. She has a scanner. All right. She was having pain on her left side of her face, headache, and has been having it since Sunday. So she had done different playlists. She had done her inner voice. She had done everything that she possibly could do, including heat, no ice at that point. So we didn't do this erase thing. So since it was her head, she would just simply take her phone, right, put it on erase and just up to her face, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. Can
I
I
wanted
ask,
to-
does she have cell phone service on that phone?
Yes.
That's a lot of EMF. That's why they ask you to have a dedicated, device just for the scanner.
Yeah.
Not
I
to
wanted to
complicate
share
things, but
something
I
about the,
just-
Yeah,
I'm so
go
sorry.
ahead, Lisa.
that's
about the
okay.
e-
I didn't want to complicate things, but I just wanted to kind of like just make an awareness around it. I think it's better to work on yourself if you need to, but it's just something to be aware of and try to maybe get a dedicated device at some point.
Well, I wanted to add to that with the erase button. Well, first of all, we have that shield now, the EMF shield,
Yeah.
which Lauren said to use, and that would be helpful. But I always look at when we have disease or something going on, it's like chaotic frequency.
Yeah.
So that erase button kind of helps bring that frequency into alignment.
Mm.
And I've had an overnight experience with my father-in-law. He came in, he had been in the hospital for something with his heart, and he thought he had like a little cancer in his head, and they thought that too, but he was furious they hadn't looked at it. So I said, I don't know if this is going to work, but let me just try the erase button. So I did that, put it on his head one time. And he came in the next day and he said, can you do it again? Because it's almost gone.
Wow.
That's
It's-
amazing.
It's powerful, but that's how I
Yeah.
think about it, that it's, when there's some kind of disease or something going on, it's just our frequency's not in alignment. It's
Yeah.
chaotic.
We've moved away from the divine blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. All right. I'm going to go back to sharing this. Can you guys still, let me see.
And I'll
Another
say
question about that.
Yeah.
Why is the cell phone more EMF than like a tablet or a laptop?
because it's bound. It's not that the cell phone it's anything that has cell service is getting the radiation from the towers, right? It's that communication. It's another communication.
Is a tablet used on Wi-Fi?
That's what I do. I don't even have cell service on my iPad, just Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And I use an Android tablet. It has no cell service.
Hmm.
Oh, so it's better to use Wi-Fi than cell service is where the EMF is coming. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great conversation. And so we're kind of already talking about this. How can AO scan make a difference?
But I
And
just want to check, did you finish giving us your process or was there more? Because I think we got to erase and then we all
Yeah.
got into that.
good
Sorry.
call.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to get the
that's
finish
okay.
because I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah. So do the erases. And then once you've done erases though, like when you're working with somebody, I try to focus just on like one area because they will be like, oh, I got pain here, 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 and here. And then I've got digestive issues. And then I've got a migraine. And you're like, okay, I only have an hour, right? So I do tell them, I said, well, you need to pick of all the things going on, because what happens is once you do your erases and then you start putting positive stuff in, you don't ever want to erase again. And if they want to move that to another body part, you feel like you need to erase again. And I'm like, I'm not going to erase after I've been starting putting positive things in. So if you're going to work on 3 different pain areas, do all your erases at one time and then move forward. And don't erase again while in that session. Okay. So then my first frequencies that I will do once I've done my erases is I have a anxiety and fears playlist. And then I will go into the solfeggio liberating guilt. I think it's what it's called. I don't know if it has the word shame on it or not. I can't remember, but I think it's guilt. Then I will move into, okay, let's go to, whatever ailment you're working on, right? Then I'll move into that. And as you're going along, you just can ask them ever so often here and there, like, what's your pain level now? And the goal
So
is to get
Wendy,
it down.
just to clarify for everybody, when you say you move on to whatever you're working on, so if somebody has low back pain, you already have a playlist made up for low back pain ahead of time, most of the time, right? And then you would actually start playing that Suffy playlist.
Yes.
Okay.
Or even a single frequency is fine too.
Okay.
Doesn't always have to be playlist. But yeah, I've worked on so many people. I've got a lot of playlists now. But yeah, you can do one specifically for back, or you can do one that's like acute pain relief or ultimate pain relief. Like it just depends on how you've built what you've named them and how you've built them with what in them.
And you're not doing the optimize the vitals before you do the Suffy?
No, I don't. I hang out in Cephii. Yeah.
I will just
do.
say that, and I'm just going to throw this out there so other people are aware that when I was talking to Connie today, she really was emphasizing how important that optimization is, not necessarily to share the reports with people. And I'm not trying to disagree with you, Wendy, but it made sense to me that we're just then optimizing so much and bringing the body back in. So just as another option for people, if, depending on what you guys feel, I mean, you're all very intuitive people, I'm sure. So use your own intuition as to what you think these people need. Sorry to interrupt you, Wendy.
No, that's okay. And then, I mean, it is intuitive. You just got to figure out like, okay, well, and then sometimes just time wise, if I'm like, well, we got it down from a 9 to a 3, that's pretty good, then you have to kind of let it be with that. But you can finish it off. One of the nice things to finish it off is with like a joy playlist. Leave people feeling
Oh, I love that.
happy. Yeah.
Can I ask you, Wendy, when you're talking about the solfeggio, is that the emotions of the frequencies, or what is that?
It's under AO Tunes.
Oh, under AO tune. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And do you guys know what the solfeggio frequencies are?
Mhm. Yeah, but I wasn't clear if you were adding those to a playlist or you're just playing those individually.
I played that individually. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can scan right there to figure out which one they need, right?
Thank you.
Well, it seems like what I heard, Wendy, if you can verify this, is you have a certain one, you go to the guilt and shame or liberating that particular one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, guilt and fear is what I pulled it up here. Guilt and fear.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Anybody else have any questions while we're on this topic? Okay, great. Great conversation. Thank you so much, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll keep going here. Okay, so one of the things that I've really been hearing myself is, and I love this quote from David Hawkins, in this interconnected universe, every improvement we make in our private world improves the world at large for everyone. So really, I think doing the inner work. So we're all so good at, can you guys still see me? Somehow I lost.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Okay. We're all so good at helping everybody else. And I just want to remind you that when we raise our vibration, and so when I say raise our vibration, I'm not just talking about our emotional health or our spiritual health or how much we pray. I'm talking about our physical health too. So when we're using these frequencies and we're helping people with their physical health and they're improving their physical health, that raises their whole vibration. And so it does the same for us. And so I think it's just super important that we're doing the inner work, whether it's inner emotional healing that we need to do, whether it's taking care of our physical bodies. And as we take these steps, then we're actually improving it for everybody. And I hear this over and over again in the communities that I'm in, is that we are healing the collective when we heal ourselves.
Praise be to God.
So we're not just going through all that work for us, that it's
No,
actually
I mean, I'm personally on a journey of self-healing that involves, all of those areas, and the AO scan just happens to be one aspect that, one tool that I'm using,
right.
along with a variety of other things. But I finally dedicated myself to doing that and getting into the hard, gritty stuff emotionally. And it's really been, um, my prayer is that it does exactly what you're saying here. That the ripples that, you know, in within myself and within my body and my frequencies, that ripples out to others in my world, you know, ultimately.
Yes, I believe it does. And thank you for sharing. I think that's awesome that you're doing that work, because I know sometimes it's tough.
You know, Jolene, I started getting into personal development when I was like 28. And so it feels like it was so long ago, and it feels like it was a whole different subject matter. But now that I think back about it, that was like really the beginning of the spiritual journey, right? It's really like being aware, being conscious that you can be better, do better, think better, have better, attract better. So, I never thought of it like in a metaphysical sense then, but I think that's what we were doing without labeling it.
We didn't even know what we were doing.
No, no, we're just, I'm just listening to audio tapes in my car as I'm
Yeah.
driving downtown in the, in
Yes.
the early 2000s,
Yes.
cassette tapes, just trying to improve and just be a better person. Like,
Right.
but that was part of making the world better, because if I'm making myself better, then I'm interrelating better, right? And I'm kinder, and I'm more understanding, and I'm more patient.
Yes. So I think there's this exponential, and I've been looking for this. I know I've heard it somewhere and I can't figure out where, but there's this exponential, it's like a snowball. So as you know, we start out and we're doing this inner work and we're doing the personal development, and we're just kind of rolling down this hill, and we're just grabbing people as we go. And the bigger that snowball comes, the more, that's,
Mhm.
and I know that it's out there. I thought it was David Hawkins, and I've searched for it.
It's
I
the
can't find it.
100th monkey research.
Yeah.
100th monkey.
100th
Yeah.
monkey, yeah. Yeah,
Awesome. Thank
basically,
you.
there's a tipping point. And when we all get to a certain level, then everyone goes, in essence, is the way that research works. So it's really
Is that in
cool,
the
actually.
Is the book called The 100th Monkey?
I don't know if it's even a book.
In a
I
book?
just know
Okay.
a story. If you Google 100th monkey, you should find
Okay.
the info. It was
I
a
love-
research study done with some monkeys and bananas on an island or something. I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't remember now, but that's
Coconuts,
the
I
thing.
think.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Okay, thank you so much.
And it's like working through the quantum, because like one monkey figured out how to use like a coconut for tools, something like that. And then they found monkeys like on the other side of the world started doing it. And so it was like this knowledge that went through the quantum.
This is so freaking cool.
I know.
What a cool universe we live in, right?
I know.
We don't even realize what we're doing.
No, that's why they say it's so important to
Amazing.
it's so important to that's why it's so important to manage your emotions and your thought processes, because we do not know what we're doing if we do it wrong. We
Right.
don't understand the universal repercussions, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. We
Right.
think we're just within our own household or something, you know.
Yeah. And I was with so Meg Berry also does Solex, but she's this beautiful, almost like an oracle that we have here in St. Louis. She channels Mother Mary, and she always talked about so but basically her talk was about be the miracle, and she's basically saying that miracles are natural, and I agree 100% that they're basically a shift in perception. And she says the only true space, the only true truth is the space that is in our hearts, that everything that we're seeing on the outside is all just perception, and it's our inner world that is the real truth. And so the more that we work on that inner stuff, the more that we create the outer world that we want to have happen.
That was great.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's keep moving on here then. So I'm going to go to this. Okay, so this is a journey. It's just a journey that probably, it sounds like from hearing from a couple of you, that it's a journey that we've probably all been on long before we even knew we were on this journey to bring about Christ consciousness. At least that was the case for me. So I just threw out I threw this all in a word cloud, because I just felt there was so many things that we could be doing to help that, along with Solex. This AO tune just kind of fascinates me, Wendy. So it's kind of funny that you brought that up, because I haven't played with it a lot. I'll go and I'll like scan myself, like probably like as I'm doing my own routine, like I'll scan 3 different times and just play and listen to that. I don't have the AO tune transducers yet, but I'm kind of fascinated with it. Do you have any other insight you want to share about it?
I don't. I've only used it for that one solfeggio. That yeah, because I'm very intimidated. Like I don't know what these planetary things are. Like I don't know what I'm doing with it, you know.
Yeah.
But when I saw the liberating guilt, I knew that was
Yeah.
right there with fear and anxiety.
Well, and I know there is one in there, like under the planetary chakras, there's like this third eye, Venus intuition.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of these are, root, I don't know what Earth Synodic Day is, survival, spirituality, communication, love, Earth. So the words really speak to what we're talking about. So anybody else have any
Yeah,
experience with those?
definitely on point with this conversation.
Yeah. Or is anybody else
Um,
using tuning forks?
Yeah, I've been playing with like the gamma, especially after Day of Discovery. I don't know who else was there, but they were talking about the hub and raising the theta and gamma. So, I've been going over here into the binaural tones and really playing with the gamma, because that's, I actually, just kind of a side note, used to be part of the scientific research team for Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh, neat.
Doing brain mapping for meditation. And so, I learned from that how important opening up the thalamus and the lambic gate is during that meditation. So I really, really like looking at the gamma brain waves and
You said the thalamus, and what was the other?
Yeah, it's called the Lamech gate. So the thalamus, which is right here, when we would brain map people that were getting into high meditation, you would see two different kinds of processes happen. It was like either people would suppress the rest of the areas of their brain and really heighten and open up that thalamic gate. And, you know, a lot of that's done through the pineal gland, et cetera, as well, and tap into that outer area. Or sometimes we'd see the opposite, where that was suppressed and the other areas of the brain were lit up, tapping into the universe. You know, we're all unique and we have different ways of doing that, but
That's fascinating.
that was amazing. So really working with the AO tune and the brain is powerful. So I love using that.
Are you using it like personally?
I
Have you
am.
experienced
Yeah.
anything using that?
Yeah, I'm just using it personally right now.
Is there anything that you wanted to share about what your experience with it?
I just really feel like when I use that, it's kind of a process. I have also some glasses, some David glasses that I like to use that give the white light. And I like to tap and I can play that into my David glasses. I look like I'm an alien, but but I'm putting it all together and I just really feel like it just heightens so much.
And you do that during meditation?
I do.
I love it.
Yeah. I wish, I'm going to put that in as a suggestion that they would allow the AO tune to last more than 5 minutes.
I've often thought that too. It's a little bit too
Right.
short.
Yeah. And then I have a friend who's a medical doctor, and she had a partner that was, they were doing brain cancer surgery on him. And she went in and talked to the clinic about adding 528 hertz because he had a glioblastoma. And think about this one. You know, when that frequency, they put a weighted mask on the face, and that frequency has to go so specifically into that part of the brain. Well, they're playing rock music in that room.
Oh
And she's
my
like,
God.
you know how that could
Yeah.
affect that frequency?
Oh,
So
wow.
I was like, oh my gosh, if you had something like this and you could do the AO tune, but have it continuous, that could be so powerful.
I actually have a friend slash not really a client. He's one of those people that's on my multi-scan and multicast list that has the glioblastoma. And they've already done the surgery and he's doing chemo. And so I'm really curious what I'm ordering the hub this week.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I'm really
Congratulations.
Yes, yeah, I've decided to go ahead and do it. And so I'm really curious because it doesn't really talk about cancer with the hub. I guess we're just moving right into the hub here. So
Right.
I don't know, have any of you have any ideas about like cancer? I mean, because I know
But what
it
are the
with inflammation.
possibilities, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that we just don't know about.
We don't know. Absolutely. I think it's worth trying.
Yeah, right. Right. All right. So I meant to put this on here and I didn't. I did create kind of a Christ consciousness playlist, and maybe and it was really just pulling in maybe I called it high vibes or something like that. And just pulling in joy and self-love and self-confidence. So I'll share that on the chat. Anybody else? Has anybody else done anything along those lines?
No, not specifically.
I'm gonna mute Mary. I'm gonna mute you right now while you're on another call. Okay. So then on the last call we also talked
I
about
had-
drinking water.
Can I didn't make one for aura support.
You made one for aura support?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Tell us more.
I can't really remember whether someone else inspired me but I've got it in my system. I
Yeah.
basically put energetic clearing at the beginning, then love,
Yeah.
gratitude, energy, aura builder, right? Because I saw that was the piece that probably triggered
Now,
it.
where
Then
did you find that? The aura builder?
I think in quantum frequencies, but I wouldn't be 100% sure. You might have to go look because I'm just looking at it like in the system. It's a shame they don't note in the system where things are from, isn't it? That would be really
Yeah.
helpful.
It would.
And then like angel sword, fringed violet, turkey bush for the flower frequencies, and then just the chakras. I don't think I fitted them
Oh,
all
I
in.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So aim,
And then I put
angel
energetic
sword.
shield. Angel sword, fringed violet, turkey. Here, I'll put it in the group.
Yeah, just put it in the
I'll
chat after
yeah,
we're off the call if you want to, or you can put it here in the chat too.
yeah. I'll put it in the group, like so everyone can have it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, anyway, that was one that I did. And I just play it when I'm feeling a bit flat.
Awesome. Oh, for yourself. That's awesome. Love that.
And somebody else wrote that they're putting something in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, I love that, Lisa. And then also, you brought up, I think, on our last call a couple weeks ago about imprinting water. And I know a lot of us in St. Louis do that as well. And we talked about Beta Austin and just water holding those frequencies. Or I also imprint my rings, any crystal bracelets that I'm wearing. So we can do that. And then we had some conversation about, creating a zip code or a map, a location as a target so that we can send frequencies to our communities, to our city, states, country, even like taking a picture of the globe and putting it in there and sending frequencies for planetary healing.
May I say something else? Sorry,
Oh,
it's
yes,
kind of going back to
please.
the brain mapping.
Sure.
But one of the first events I went to was here in Carefree, Arizona. And we were brain mapping this woman. We always would do the brain map and then we'd come back and export all the material. And the frontal lobe, which is you have a left and right frontal lobe, average, it would run between 25 and 40 hertz. When we came back and we exported hers, it was bilaterally even over 1 million hertz each side. And so we asked her what on earth was she doing? And she said she had people all over the world praying for her at
Wow.
the same time we were brain mapping her.
Wow.
So it's true,
The power of prayer.
So cool. So when we're sending these intentions,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really know that change is happening.
Mm-hmm. And whether or not what we're praying for actually comes to fruition,
Manifest.
but like there's always something that changes, right?
Right. It's like the butterfly effect, where they say, the flap of a butterfly wing changes everything in its path.
Wow. You guys have the coolest things to share.
If you're done, I have something that I can share that might be helpful.
Yes, please.
So I just started my Moon AT rights, which is universal love, kind of like it's kind of like a Reiki healing energy.
What's it called?
So Moon AT rights,
Okay.
and he was teaching in the class yesterday how the pre let me see if I can find what I wrote. It's the new frontal brain, the cortex.
Precordial, precordial. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't,
Yeah, and the front of the brain is the new brain. They call it the God brain. And if you can get that to work, if we can train that, we'll be more conscious.
Are you talking about the third eye too? Would be the same thing?
Maybe it is. I guess it's probably part of that, but they were talking. They played like a slide, and they were talking about how the frontal part of there's like 4 different parts of the brain. One is the reptilian brain, the mammalian brain, which is like emotions, fear. Reptilian is the ancient autonomic brain. Then there's the limbic brain, and then the neocortex brain. And
Thing.
so the neocortex, um,
yeah.
so yeah, it was the God brain, only part of the brain that works. I didn't get to finish that. It's the prefrontal cortex, and that's the newer part of our brain.
So I'm imagining that
That they're talking
the
about.
AO hub would really help activate that. And actually, I don't know if you guys, Wendy, I know you've heard this and probably you're the one that told me it, but that, and maybe it was even on the video that they did of Lauren and I don't know, is it Kaj?
Kai.
Kai
Hi.
talking about the AO Hub and that they had ran some students of a Zen master who had been meditating, for many, many years. And he did this or took his students and put them through it for a couple of days. And he said, like, these 2 days of doing the AO Hub was equal to 10 years of meditation.
That's right. And yeah, this was a Zen
The more
master.
the more that I hear about this hub, the more I want it. I'm just gonna have to gather up some monies because right now I'm low.
Wait till your 30% comes in and
Well, the thing is that I have a 30% right now, but even with the 30%, I don't have the money. I'm just kind of low on cash because I've been putting out for therapists to assist me in my self-healing. So
yeah,
a little bit at a time, it'll come.
just play the abundance frequencies for yourself.
Is there a way to use the hub remotely for like the group? If anybody has the hub, it's only personal, like in person.
That's the impression I get, is that it's got to be on your head, so it's just one individual at a time.
Wendy, do you have any
I
insight?
know. Well, I mean, it is true. You have to, it's light and sound. So you're putting the light goggles on. You're also clipping those things to your ears. So
Yeah.
it is a very tangible experience, but, and I don't have any details, but I know Tammy Ward is playing with this concept of doing something remotely. So
Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
yeah, I wouldn't even know how to begin to tell you, like,
Yeah, I don't know what
what's
she's
going
doing
through her
either.
head. Yeah.
All right.
Somebody asked the question, what was it equivalent to the brain tap? Because I have that, and I didn't know if maybe it's somewhat like that.
It's not, because one of the things they say, it's like, trying to think how they put it. I think I even wrote it down, because like more back and forth communication, where even with the devices I have, they give brainwave signals, and when the brain responds appropriately, it signals back. But it's my understanding it's more our brains giving back and forth communication to the hub than just a one-way.
It's more like it sounds like it's almost more like the scan and optimize that we're doing,
Yes, gosh, I did
where
write
it's
that
where it's
down.
optimizing, it's pinging the frequencies against our body or our brain.
Mhm,
Interesting.
mhm.
I mean, I know it's building new neural networks and trimming the ones that aren't working.
So I'm just wondering, sorry, I have kind of a lot of questions, and if it's not for the group, then I understand, you can tell me, but I have a blood clot in my brain and that I got since COVID. And obviously they can't remove it. It's in my main jugular vein. So I'm on blood thinners. Other than that, I'm pretty healthy. And so I'm just trying to find like the right tool to help me to heal those
And I
issues.
just,
So I didn't know if the hub would be something
yeah,
that
I just found the wording to it. They call it brain engagement and not brain training.
okay.
And Mary, I have heard that if you are if you have any type of seizures, or if you're susceptible to seizures, that you shouldn't use the hub. So
No, I'm not.
I don't know. I think I'd before you did, I would definitely call and talk to customer service or somebody that maybe can give you a little bit more insight.
Okay. Okay.
Hello, it's Kathy. May I speak?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, it's not the AO, but in the True Rights, there's a program for blood clots, and also I see Hannah Kroger has a board for blood clots. I'm not sure how it works or what it is, but I thought I'd share that. I don't know if you've know anything about Hannah Kroger, but
I don't. Is she somebody in the AO community?
no, she actually works with herbs, and she's long since passed, but that's why I didn't know if it's okay to talk about other stuff on the AO call, but those
Well,
are two
it's
things.
fine. Yeah, it's fine. But maybe the two of you could exchange information. And thank you so much, Kathy. Is it Kathy?
Yeah, and
Thank you.
I'm a little tired, but I've been nodding the whole time and taking everything in, and I appreciate everything that
Yeah.
everyone's sharing. So
Yeah,
thank you.
maybe you could share or exchange contact information with Mary so that you two can so she can get that
Sure.
information from you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And so we're okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're all good. Anybody else want to talk about Hub before we move on? Okay, so I just also want to talk about food for a minute, and share this information about the frequency of foods. And so everything is vibration. And food is not, food doesn't get a free pass. And so when we're really looking to eat healthier and to have our bodies be healthier and our energy be higher, vibration be higher, we need, it's a good idea to also consider food. And so you can just kind of look at this. There's, we actually teach this in pranic healing as well, that there are some meats that have low and even negative vibration, and then it moves up to vegetables and fruits, having the highest vibration. But there are some things that you can do for your food. So even we talked before about the power of prayer, and I love the story you shared about your friend or the person that you were working with, and they found the very high vibration in her frontal lobe from people praying for her. And so if we can do that for people, it's very highly likely that we could do it for our food as well. And just by blessing our food, but also I know that there's people that when they bring their grocery bags in, and I haven't done this yet, but I probably should, they're actually using their grocery bags as a target and clearing and energizing it. Or if you had a high vibe playlist, you could send that to your groceries.
But just additional point, I don't know. I use a food zapper, and I
Food
bring all of
zapper.
my, yeah, bring all of my food into the house, and I everything I bring into the house, I put on this plate that zaps it for 10 minutes and gets rid of all of the microbes and things of that sort. And Hulda Clark is the one that I think initially, she's the one that's got the cure for all diseases. And she talks about,
Yes.
yeah, okay, so she's the one that I think came up with this, but that's what I've
Is it
been.
the same? Is it the same zapper she sold where you connect it to your toe?
No, this is a bigger one.
Okay.
This is Helda Clark.
Hulda, Hulda.
Okay, I haven't
Yeah.
ever heard of her.
And so the therapist I've been working with highly suggests that I bring, make sure that whatever I'm eating, that it's that I'm clearing it before I eat it,
Wonderful.
and so that we're working on trying to get out all of the other stuff out of the body, like parasites and so on and so forth. But you got to work on both, what you're putting in and then what you're pushing out, and making sure that it's all at any rate, that's another thing I'm doing. But I hadn't really thought about the whole idea about doing the frequency. I could do that on top of that as
Yeah.
well.
I actually have a playlist that I create. My husband thinks I'm crazy. I just call it food health. And I'll, especially when I eat out and don't have control of the kind of food that I'm
Yeah.
getting, I'll just set my plate right on my scanner. And I have in it energetic clearing, gratitude, peace, calm, and tranquility, love, bacteria detox, chemical detox, pesticide detox, ultimate emotions, solar plexus, chakra, and energetic shields.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Lisa, would you mind sharing that in the chat group too? Not this one here, but the bigger one on
Yeah,
Facebook.
sure.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it now the chat
Food
group?
zapper.
Which one are we, when you
The
say,
Facebook one, correct? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm on so many
Yeah.
different ones.
The messenger, on the
The
messenger.
messenger chat,
Mhm.
the
Oh.
AO Scan consciousness chat group. It's in Messenger.
Oh, okay. I don't think
That's
I'm
so cool.
a part of that at this point. So
There's
How'd
a
you
couple
get
of
this
other
whole
things
thing?
too.
There's what?
There's a couple of other things. I think the Tesla, I don't know what they call them. Like they're little discs. The Tesla shields also do the
Purple
same
plates?
as the food zappers. I've seen people use those. And also, if you've got a terahertz wand your food
oh
and
yeah.
just set your intention clearly. It
Oh,
will
okay.
create wonders. It's not only for water and your body.
Ah,
Yeah, those Tesla plates are called purple plates.
There you go.
It's
I couldn't remember what that
purpleplates.com.
was.
Purple plates?
Purpleplates.com. They have smaller ones. I put my medication on it before I take it. And yeah, they have bigger ones that you can like put your food on. You can put it in your chair and sit on those also.
Interesting. Susan, if you want to email me there was some information that you were going to put out there. I forgot which one it was now, but if you wanted to email me or or I am me, I'd be happy just to put it in that larger group, or any of you, if you have my email.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else about food?
I was wondering if we could maybe create like a playlist for the group.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Just something with like the Christ consciousness, um, some of the flower essences, and maybe something with like the frontal cortex of the brain, activating that.
And Lisa, did you say you had already done something kind of like that? Like the aura support?
Yeah,
That's
would be
the
nice.
closest I've got, but I was thinking more about bodies at that point because that's got all your chakras in it.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, you know how Wendy gave us like an outline of a pain relief session? I feel like we could together create an outline of a Christ consciousness session. Because like also in the AO tunes, there's the spiritual awareness, I think it's called. Let me look what it's called exactly. Spiritual awakening. So spiritual insights is the group, and there's 4 things in there that actually they come up in my scans quite a bit, and they're very high frequency. So I feel like we could maybe put all our different ideas together of, you know, maybe there's a start your day like this, end your day like this kind of little checklist or something. I don't know.
What do you guys think about kind of each of us going back and thinking about this and just having like a little workshop call or something? Maybe we could do like next week at the same time, and I'd have to look at my calendar to make sure I can make it. Let me see. But we could schedule something like that where we could work together, or we could just continue. So a couple options. We could continue to communicate on that group chat in Facebook, the messenger. We could meet again. We could do both. We could have another call. But we could also just move this whole conversation over to Telegram.
Oh, so you're on Telegram?
Yes.
I am. Yeah, I'm on Telegram a lot. So I'm more there than I really am on Facebook. So
And I cannot do next Wednesday. I could do like 2 weeks out if we want to jump on a call. But does anybody else use Telegram?
I do, as you know.
Yeah. Yes.
I do.
Lisa Murray, Lisa Bowers.
Kathy, I don't, but I could try. I
I'm,
could get it.
and I think I'm signed up. I just don't use it, so I can do that.
Yeah. I just have a sense that it might be a little bit better, that we would be a more targeted group than that messenger group right now.
Right.
And it's so nice because it holds like any media you've ever shared or any links you've ever shared. There's a bank for it that you can go find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna real quick, I'm just gonna, you guys, if you guys want to keep talking, I'm gonna write down everybody's names so I can go. I have your emails in the Zoom invite, but I probably need everybody's. What do I need, Wendy? Do you know, to invite people to Telegram? Can I just do emails, or do I need phone numbers?
Well, I think the easiest one would be for you to create your Telegram channel, right? So you're gonna have a name for your channel.
Yep.
And then you can come into the Facebook Messenger and give them the handle for that. So once you have your own Telegram channel and you want to look for another one, you could either give them the link. There'll be a link that you can give them to join, or you can say search for at Solex Christ Consciousness or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could just email to everybody if you don't want to make it open to the entire
Yeah,
group.
I
Like if
could
you
just,
more of a working group.
yeah, and I honestly think I don't remember, there was last week was a smaller group. I don't remember who else actually showed up for us, but I could email both groups and then invite them to, maybe everybody could kind of come up with the things that they feel that we need, and we may end up with 2 or 3 different playlists.
Yeah, could you on the, I don't know, make a completely new email or something, but basically say like, because you've got your slide deck there. Either like send out the slide deck so that I could get an idea of the different things that you brought up,
Sure.
and then I would be able to then go from there as far as like putting together like playlist type of a thing that we could work with.
That's a great idea. And we'll also share this recording on the chat group. But yes, I will email, and I'll email it to everybody. That just makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And recording. Okay. So
What's your email so I know what to look for?
yeah, let me go back and share my screen again. And I'll give you guys my email. And if you need to reach out to me, you certainly can. Oops, sorry about that. There we go. Yeah, so if you have any other thoughts, you can just reach me at joe@gutandsoul.com.
Well, that's nice. I like that name.
Thank you. And so I set this up under my different email, which was Joe Miller fdnp@gmail.com. And so you could email me either place, but I'll try to use the Gut and Soul one for this purpose. And then I did just want to make sure everybody had, these were some of the resources that came up, just different books that we talked about last week. And so this quote is really it's from Matthew 25:29, for to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not, even what he has will be taken away. And this is kind of the basic of the book, The Magic. And it's all about gratitude. And so when we're talking about Christ consciousness, I just want to say that gratitude is purely magic. And the more that we can be grateful, just the more that that things are going to flow to us. And if you haven't
Yep.
read the book, The Magic, I highly, highly recommend it. All right. And then just kind of finishing up with this, and this goes kind of back to the idea that it all starts within. So the incandescent fire of love is being born in the cave of the heart. And from there, it will move outward to light our world. And so this is, I believe, what we are doing.
Love it.
Right. Any final suggestions or comments anyone wants to make?
I don't know, something that came up for me just now is taking the picture of my neighbor's front doors
Yeah.
and putting it in, objects and spaces, and then scanning and sending, frequencies to them for their health and well-being.
Oh, I
Because
love
when things
that.
when things get tough, those are the people that are going to be around that you really need. They really need them, right?
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much for putting this together. It's got me thinking different ideas about how to use my scanner and whatnot. So that's great.
You're so welcome. I'm really honored that I really didn't intend for that question to like go kind of viral like it did, but I'm so thankful and just grateful that I But this is so fun, right? It's such a beautiful topic. It's much more exciting than what I would be doing if I wasn't on the call. And thank you, all of you guys, for showing up. Really appreciate it.
You're
Thank you for
Sharing
coordinating
all your
this.
wisdom.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump over and go watch the Solex YouTube weekly
Oh,
weekly
Thank you,
call.
Wendy. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank
Okay,
you.
All
bye-bye.
right, have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
right, thank you.
Thank you. Don't pick on my dog.
Mhm.